I'm Emily.
And I'm Kayla.
And we just want to talk movies.
Movies!
And today, we are going to be talking about the reboot trilogy of Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, one of the most superior trilogies of film history.
One of the superior remakes, or reboots, or prequels, or whatever you want to call it. In anticipation of the new film, Kingdom of Planet of the Apes.
Which, interestingly, I found out today that it takes place, or did we find out yesterday? I can't remember. Oh, it takes place like 500 years after the end of War for the Planet of the Apes. Which I don't know how to feel about. 300? I don't know. Hundreds of years. I don't know how to feel about because I was expecting us to follow Mr. Cornelius. But now it's some other dude.
Yeah, I assumed it was going to go into the original movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where Cornelius was with his wife and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like we're going in a completely new direction.
Or maybe that Cornelius was just a descendant, and he's named after the Cornelius from War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, possibly. We don't know until we see, I guess. But it does look like this new one is more like how the society is closer to what it was in the original.
Yeah.
So
like we were talking about, there's certain set pieces and shots from the trailer that reminded me of the old movies.
Yep.
Which I think was purposeful. And it looks like there's going to be a civil war between the apes. Mm-hmm. Because some other, I don't know if this is true, but from what I'm gathering, some other guy, some other ape who is not of the Caesar's bloodline is now the king. And I think the main character that we're following is a descendant of Caesar. This is all, I'm pulling this out of thin air from what context clues. And I think that he's probably going to take the crown back.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know, honestly.
Or he isn't related to Caesar at all.
I think he's just Joe Schmo, but it could be...
Which I don't mind.
Yeah. Or it could be like it's revealed later on that he's related in some way. We're going to go over the reboot trilogy, each of the movies, our thoughts.
And how great they are.
Yes. And leading into our predictions about this upcoming film.
But first, I have news. Emily doesn't have a lick of news.
I don't have news. It's been kind of a...
What's like general... Have any trailers come out recently? I can't think of any.
The M. Night Shyamalan with the... What's his name? Josh Hartnett? That looks like it could be interesting.
I haven't seen that, but Emily's told me about it. Sounds... I'm seated for M. Night Shyamalan, even though recent entries haven't been great.
I did not like Old at all. I didn't like Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin was at least way better than Old, which is not saying a lot.
Yeah. That's the thing with M. Night Shyamalan usually. It's like, when you hear the concept, you're like, ooh, that sounds really cool. And then you watch a movie, you're like, ooh.
True.
So I don't know what to think, but it sounds really cool. It's called Trap, I think.
They're going to say trash. It's like Old.
It's called Old Trash. Because it's about them, Josh Hartnett's a serial killer, and he's taking his daughter to this concert. And lo and behold, the police have set up a trap for him here at this concert. So
I know why it's called Trap now.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna go see it in the theater. To be determined on that.
Well, my news. I need a sting for Stranger Things news. I should be like, and
you just record yourself doing that.
I know. I should, and like put some effects on my voice. I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do that for this episode, actually. Anyway.
You're hearing that right now.
Yes. Tell me what you thought, because I have no idea what it sounds like. Anyway, not much news.
Oh.
Not much news. They're just filming, as we know, but some interesting things have popped up. supposedly, according to like a couple Instagram, like just fan Instagram accounts, they are filming again at the Creel House mansion set. Because they repainted it. It was sold to like actual people who I think like turned it into an inn or something, and it got repainted like this green color, but it's painted back to the blue color. So that means they're probably filming there, and like we've seen cameras, which is interesting. They're back to the Creel House. Why? It got split in half last we saw it. So is it flashbacks? Is it? It doesn't. It's painted. It doesn't have like all of the cracks and boards that were on it for like when they shot it in the upside down, so it looks like it did when they were filming like the flashbacks of the 50s. So in my mind it's more of that, but interesting nonetheless. The other update that we've had is paparazzi was like filming from afar the night shoots at the radio station that's been like a large important set in the filming of this season so far. And you can actually hear things being said. It sounds like Dustin is screaming, "Steve, you need to run! Run!" Like really loudly, like over some sort of intercom. So, is Steve in peril? Probably.
Yes.
He usually is. But very interesting. That's pretty much it, like, as far as like notable updates. But we shall see what comes next.
Yes, we shall. On Kayla's Stranger Things. It's not hour. What do we call it? Minute?
Second. There it is, folks.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Oh, I have one other piece of news. If any of you are on Stranger Things Instagram, you have probably seen the leaks of the episode titles. It's most likely fake. That's all I have to say. None of it is real. They also revealed who's going to direct all the episodes. I don't know if that's real, probably not. People leak stuff all the time and it's usually wrong, because if the titles are leaked, you're going to hear something from the directors and the Stranger Things account. We haven't heard anything. It's probably fake. Anyway, moving on.
Now the outro.
But
also...
wait, one more thing.
By the way, the first episode was released.
I didn't write any of these down this week, so I'm like, wait a minute, I have to remember. Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
So, starting with the first movie in the Reboot trilogy,
which is called
Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Rise of Skywalker.
What confuses me about these movies is the second one is called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but then the first one is called Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I feel like they should be switched around.
Rise and Dawn are kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but I feel like Dawn is like, oh, it's the beginning, and then Rise, it's like they're rising.
They're ascending.
Which I feel like that's the storyline of the first two movies.
That is facts.
Anyway, what's this movie about, Emily?
So, we have Mr. James Franco as I guess he's a scientist?
I think so, yeah. He's in a lab coat, he's doing the experiments.
He works in this lab where they're trying to find basically a cure for dementia. Alzheimer's. Yeah,
and they're just giving a bunch of monkeys their serum. They're testing on monkeys.
Yeah, because they want the smartest brain.
Anything new?
Yeah.
They test on monkeys all the time. And
unethical
we love
tests.
monkeys, and they don't deserve to be tested on.
Exactly. And he ends up adopting.
And there's his own father, played by Lord Farquaad himself, by the way, has Alzheimer's. So there's like ooh, sorry, I bumped into the microphone.
The microphone!
Wait. There is an emotional connection that he has, an emotional stake he has in his work.
Yes, you could say it is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but no one cares about that.
Yeah. Well,
especially, it becomes an even bigger conflict of interest when he takes the baby home. The baby monkey home.
The baby monkey born from one of the apes in captivity.
Mm-hmm. Who they kill because she's trying to protect her baby.
Yes.
What the heck?
Of
folks?
course.
Sounds like Stranger Things to me. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Her mom got experimented on, and she's born with the powers, and then they kill the mom. Like,
bring you slowly fade the music back in.
It is Stranger Things hour on this podcast.
I guess
because I will find a way to connect everything to Stranger Things.
Much like Stranger Things, there's a lab.
Oh yes, and there's scientists. Oh, did you know? And there's a house.
There is a house.
There's a house with a window.
There is a plot.
Isn't there hold on, like seriously, isn't there a window in the Creel house that kind of looks like
Yeah, we always said that.
We're okay, like, another like connection. Window. The Creel house literally looks like the house in this movie.
Well, the window anyway.
Yeah.
The window he draws on his cell when he misses home.
So sad.
So basically what this movie is it's one gigantic reason to, when we start off this trilogy, to hate humans and be happy that the apes took over.
Yeah, it's basically interesting. Yeah, and I like how, as just a trilogy, we literally get to see Caesar from birth to death. Yes. And it's the ultimate, like, you're just connecting with this character. You get to see him go through ape puberty, when he's like, I don't belong. Where do I belong? And, I have hormones, and suddenly I bit this guy's finger off.
Yes.
I'm a monster. But really, the humans are just jerks.
Yeah, there's so many interesting, like, obviously it's putting a mirror up to us, because all of this stuff is not out of this world, what's happening. The unethical experimentations, just how we treat animals in general, and the planet in general.
Yeah. How
we deal with disease as well, because this is kind of a virus movie as well, as it ends up being.
Mm-hmm. Especially this one and the third one focus on it a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy how you don't see a single mask. You don't see a single instance of social distancing. And you could say that's unrealistic, but we've went through a pandemic, and was there lots of social distancing? Actually, no.
There's a lot of mask debris in the street, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's pollution.
That's like the balance of, like, if people wear more masks, but you get more masks, there's gonna be a lot more pollution.
Yeah, because no one knows how to recycle or throw anything away.
Yep.
Anyway.
So basically how humans are trash and we're stupid and don't know how to take care of the planet, and that's why we lost it back to the apes.
And I think they get into this more in the third one, but our actions really come back to haunt us, and it's terrifying because we literally get knocked off the top of the food chain, and then to the point where we literally lose the ability to speak and communicate, which is like what puts us above animals. We have, like, I mean, I know animals can communicate, but we have, like, higher brain function, and the disease leads to lower brain function. Mm-hmm. And so literally we become the apes, and we aren't evolved like apes are to be able to deal with the harsh wilds. Like, our bodies aren't built for that, because we don't need that so much because we have big brain. But now we don't have big brain and we don't have big body. So what are we left with, folks?
Big trouble.
Big trouble. I don't know why that came to my head.
It's gonna be a big night.
We're gonna have a good time. That's what the apes are saying when they're storming the bridge.
Yes.
This is set in San Francisco, and I love San Francisco set movies. Venom, ever heard of it?
Venom, like what you have.
Lots of movies are set in San Francisco, but that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh. Isn't X-Men the third X-Men movie?
That is the Golden Gate Bridge.
Dude.
Magneto moves the Golden Gate Bridge.
There are some good sequences on Golden Gate Bridge in movies.
Yes. Anywho, back to...
What are we talking about?
So yeah, what's nice is, as Kayla mentioned... Ooh, I ring brushed the mics.
We keep doing that. I'm trying to be better about not having so many peripheral sounds, because I know that my fidgeting has made its way into the soundscape of this podcast. And I'm trying so hardly for it to not.
We don't have the budget for soundproof rooms.
Yeah. And tying my hands behind my back.
Yes. So, James Franco.
James Franco's in this.
This movie, pretty much the first half is about, I'm just gonna call him James Franco because I forgot his name.
Who knows? Who cares, honestly?
His connection with Caesar, how he adopts Caesar, kind of raises him as a son, and not forces, but yes, forces, I guess, him to act like a human.
Yeah, just because he's raised in that environment.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Caesar, from birth, as he grows up, loses all of his ape...
Identity.
Yeah, identity. He doesn't know, like, how to communicate with the other apes, really.
He wears a little red shirt.
Yeah, he wears clothes. He's, like, they have him on a leash.
Yeah.
When they have to go to the park.
That's so sad when he's like, am I a pet?
Yeah. So basically, it's like James Franco's character wants him, you know, to be like a person, like a human, like his son. But at the same time, he recognizes it's an animal.
Yeah.
And I gotta...
Any moment, something could happen.
Yes.
And it does.
Which makes him smarter than most dog owners, but...
Yeah.
Well. We're not gonna get into that. So it's a very tragic story, but also a triumphant story, because the apes, per the title, do rise up and
and he helps
over.
them. He gives them all the serum to make them smarter. We have Maurice, the orangutan, my favorite character, who will come back in big ways. We love Maurice. He's already smart to begin with.
Yes.
Oh my god, and then the best moment of the movie is when freaking Draco Malfoy is like mocking him and he said, "No!"
Yes.
Yes. Andy Serkis.
Oh, we gotta talk about Andy Serkis.
He is a national treasure. I love Andy Serkis.
He
also played Kong in the Peter Jackson Kong, so he already knows how to be a monkey.
Yes. It's crazy what he's done as far as just his
the way that he moves himself. Like his face and his body.
Motion capture
technology, yeah. He's the motion capture. If you want some dude in a suit for motion capture, you call up Andy Serkis and he will be there.
Yeah.
But his voice, his facial expressions, the way that he moves, like, he knows how to embody something that is not fully human. And it gets better and better as the technology gets better and better, but, like, without him, it wouldn't have been what it was.
Yes.
Because you can see every instant of emotion on the completely CG creature's face.
He makes Caesar a character, and not just... It'd be so easy to be like, oh, it's the little ape that we follow, and there he is. He's winning. He's helping everyone get out. There's so much more to him with the performance, not just the physical. Like, the physical's a big part of it, but then also the emotional that shows through
his
the
face.
digital effects.
And this movie, especially because he doesn't talk for most of the movie, you have to have that through his facial expressions, and he does it very well. Yep.
So yeah, there's so many satisfying moments when the movie starts to really pick up after he gets sent to the animal control place, whatever it is.
For biting off a jerk's finger.
Run by Stryker from X-Men 2.
Oh, that's right. And Draco Malfoy.
Yes.
The worst combination of people.
But, like, that casting as well is also, like, so perfect.
I know.
And so intentional. Yeah, so you see when the revenge starts to get going, it's like, oh.
When Caesar needs to get revenge, you better watch out.
It's so funny because it's terrifying, but as the audience, like, we're on the ape side.
Yeah.
So
you're like, oh my god, this is happening to the humans, oh no. But then you're like, but this is happening
like,
to the
take
awful
them
humans.
down.
Yeah.
Get them!
I want to say the end sequence when they're like when they escape and they go to the bridge and they have the battle with and everything. I've seen videos behind the scenes and it looks so. I want to be one of those people. They're just like on these little stilts, just like galloping around.
Oh
and
my God.
these noises in their little motion capture suits or whatever.
Yeah, that must have been really fun. Basically, I feel like I keep saying basically.
So recently,
that's really annoying. Apologies. Just like.
I say it a lot.
Like. So, what's you said your favorite moment was when he speaks for the first time.
That's like the big climactic moment. I love that moment. I love the Caesar is home.
Yes.
Before he goes off and joins everyone in the woods. Anytime that he speaks is really good. I love anytime that he doesn't speak as well. Like what is his name? John Lithgow.
Yeah.
He is trying to eat eggs with the wrong end of the fork, and then Caesar flips it around for him, and like you see that he cares about the humans, and he doesn't. There's no line of dialogue in that scene, and he doesn't need it, but. Yeah, I'd say those are great moments.
That's another thing that makes his character so interesting, because obviously he was raised by humans, so he does have a soft spot for them that none of the other apes have.
Yeah, especially Koba.
Yes, Koba.
Great. He's the one who basically starts off the virus, right? Because he does something to one of the lab people. He scratches or bites them or something.
And it rips the suit.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or the mask.
Mm-hmm. That was the first scene I saw, is when the guy like coughs up blood on the other guy. And I was so scared. I was super young. Yeah, and I was like, what is this movie?
Yeah, so basically... Oh my God! As I said, what wipes out the humans is a virus. Mm-hmm. Ultimately. Not even the apes.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So we have this whole thing, this whole big event that happened. All these apes escape. They get revenge on their captors, and they just want to go out and like live their lives. Mm-hmm. So they go. They don't want to wipe out humanity, really. Mm-hmm. They wanted to get revenge on all those people in the lab, tell everyone to like stay out of our way.
Yeah.
And then go off and live. And what happens to the humans is we kill ourselves off from the virus. Yep. And so the apes are like, oh, well, here we go.
They don't have to touch the humans.
No. And that's... The irony is hilarious. We like to think that we're so evolved over all the animals and like they could never take us over. But ultimately, we became our own destruction, and the animals... No, you're right. They didn't have to do anything because you messed it up for yourself.
Yep. What is your favorite moment of the movie?
Honestly, I do like when he speaks for the first time. That always gives me
There's
chills.
So much like pent up rage that comes out too, because he's finally like, wow.
And it's so like empowering.
Yeah.
You're like, yes. But I always love the very end. When you see the guy getting on the plane who's sick.
Oh, yeah.
And then the credits, you see, like, how the virus spreads.
That's super cool.
It's like, oh, it feels... It's such a good way to end it, because it makes you like, oh, here we go. Now...
Even if it ended there and you didn't see anything else, you're like, oh, God.
You can picture. And it's like, everything that came before, you're kind of like, well, how? Like, they're just going off to live. They don't want to hurt us. So, what happens? And then in the end, you're like... It's like that final, like, gut punch, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I always love that moment.
Mm-hmm. I love watching all the strings go from across the continents and just watch it spread everywhere.
It reminds me of a movie like Contagion. Mm-hmm. Just, it's so different now, too, after 2020. Pre-2020, it was just kind of like... Dang, that would be crazy. And then now after, we're just kind of like...
Yeah, that's how it works. Anyway.
It's very different now, watching that scene.
Yeah. I think we're ready to move on to number 2.
We are. That brings us to Dawn.
This one's my favorite. Is this your favorite?
Yes. Obviously, this is my favorite because when you have an ape riding on the back of a horse...
For the first shot.
No, I'm talking about the end.
Oh,
the
oh,
end
oh.
battle. Through, like, a wall of fire with 2 machine guns. You've made the best movie ever. You can't... That's not the best movie ever made.
Matt Reeves directed this.
Yes.
Director of many movies, both good and bad, I would say.
As most directors, to be honest.
Yeah. But most recently, Batman. The Batman. Sorry.
The Batman.
The Batman.
Which this movie... Okay, so Rise... It has a dark tone, but it's a different kind of dark tone than this. This is, like, the post-apocalyptic...
Yes, that's where we get into this. I feel like the opening shot... I think that's my favorite part of this movie is the opening shot. Because you're like, it's just Caesar, he's older, and he's got a bunch of war paint on. And you're like, oh, okay, so things have changed. Things have happened, he has evolved. Like, we're in this now. And it's like the sound design in that scene is awesome too because they're being so quiet and they're in the forest. Oh, that's so good.
Yep. This is definitely the most action-packed of the movies.
It's cool. It's got like a weird like industrial like rusty vibe.
Yeah, it's all these old abandoned buildings where all these action sequences take place, and there's so much suspense a lot of the times when you first see humans on the scene. And they when they're interacting with the apes, you're like, something's about to go down right now.
Yeah, because everything's so precarious because they keep trying to, like, make a deal with the humans. Be like, okay, you can stay here as long as you heal my wife and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but you're always like, someone's going to do something wrong because, like, all the apes don't want them to be there. And the humans, of course, are going to take advantage of them in some way.
And then you see... the societies within the apes, they're starting to have butting heads.
Yeah. Koba, this is where Koba comes to the front. He's one of the best villains. Like, he's so good.
One of the scariest villains. Like,
he looks awesome.
You do not want to run into this thing.
I know, I love it when, like, there's just certain scenes where, like, the humans are, like, looking at him and he's getting angry and he's, like, ready to kill them and you're like, I don't want to be that person right now.
And what's so cool is in the first one, he didn't do much.
No.
Like, you saw him there, and he would just be looking at people, and you're like...
You know that he has rage.
Scary.
And the best part is, like, he's right for a lot of the movie. Until he, like, fully goes off the deep end. But, like, he has a point. All Caesar has known is... Well, not all, but Caesar grew up with humans who were pretty good to him, relatively. So he has that empathy for them. Koba has been... I think in the lab for like his entire life, and all he knows is awful humans. So obviously he does not like them, and he wants them all dead.
And like you said, he's right.
Yeah, and Caesar keeps making deals with them, and then it always ends up bad. And Koba's like, "Told you so."
Koba said, I keep losing at deals, and I don't want to make a deal anymore." Why are you booing him? He's right.
He is King Curtis. Does he want chicken nugget? We have another great cast. Gary Oldman is in this.
Yeah.
He's great.
I love him.
That dude who's in a lot of stuff, but I don't know his name.
It's like really hard to pronounce.
And then Carrie, what's her face from Star Wars?
Carrie Russell?
Yeah, Carrie Russell. I did not research.
I don't even know
cast.
what to type in.
Just type in Rise of the Dawn of the
Continent of the Planet of the Apes.
World of
Jason Clarke. Okay, I was thinking of another name.
That's have been. That's not hard to pronounce at all. Jason Clarke, he's in lots of stuff. He's like the main human character in this one. He's pretty good.
Yes. As we said, Koba is our villain in this one. Mm-hmm. Is he?
Supposedly.
Because he got humans being jerks, as always.
Mm-hmm. But he does go off the deep end.
Yes.
So Caesar has a son now. And he basically, like, recruits his son. Because his son sees the things that Koba sees, too. But he, like, recruits his son, takes him with him, and just to kill all the humans. Even if that means a bunch of the apes get killed. And that's all he cares about. He just wants to go on a rampage. And
we see him... Like, he hates the humans so much for all the horrible things they've done, but we also see him following their rhetoric, I guess is the word.
The things that they do, the problematic things that they do.
Yeah, because that's all he knows. Mm-hmm. he learned his emotional cues or whatever from the humans around him and how awful they acted. So in his mind, he's like, oh, this is how I get on top. This is how I can beat everyone. I'll make people think it's all good. Listen, I'm gonna make everything okay. But whatever, I don't care.
I don't really care for your well-being.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. He becomes the very thing he's forced to
It's
destroy.
literally a Revenge of the Sith adaptation.
I made a video years ago where I put the Revenge of the Sith Battle of Heroes music over the battle between Caesar and
it's
Koba.
so good.
That ending battle between them is so intense.
Yeah. I love the lighting. It's so orange, and I hate orange movies, but I liked it in this case.
And the sound design, just everything. Their use of, like, using the environment around them as weapons and everything. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a cool set.
Yeah.
Cool set pieces in this, especially in this one and the next one.
Basically, we think this... Oh, basically, no. Pretty much, we think this movie's perfect, so we just sing its praises.
Yeah. Is this one well-liked by, like, the fans? Is this one a fan favorite, or is it not?
I honestly don't know. People's opinions are so all over the board with these movies. I have to say, too, the CG effects in this really went up.
Yes, for sure. And they go up even more in the next one.
Yeah.
It has well, that's critics. Audience score is 88. What's Rise? Rise. I still get them confused.
Yeah, that one was generally well-liked.
Okay, so it's got an 84. So Dawn is a fan favorite, according to Rotten Tomatoes, which, who knows?
I think that's been proved to be.
Yeah, but that's the only data we really have.
Yeah.
Which I would agree. I like this one the best. I would say the first and the third one, I want to say I'd put them on the same level. I think I want to say that. There are certain things that I like more. I think it's because there are certain things that I like more in War, but there are also things that I like less in War, so it evens out.
It's so interesting how different these three movies are from each other.
Yeah, they're different tonally, which makes it interesting. It's like every time you go to watch one, like straight after watching the previous one, you're like, oh, we're in for something else.
Yeah. They're almost different genres, all of
Definitely
them.
Between the first and the second, it was a genre shift. And then
the first one seems more, like, it almost has a horror vibe to it. Mm-hmm. It's very, like, suspense-ridden. You're ready for all this, to see how this is all gonna go to hell, basically. The second one is very action, revenge centered. And then the third one is very character, emotional.
But it also has revenge elements.
Yeah, I guess all of them have revenge.
Yeah.
Which is why I like these movies so much. I love me some revenge of the Apes.
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith.
Well, now that Koba has started the bad things, we are officially at war with the humans.
Yes, which brings us in to the third and allegedly final entry.
We thought.
You thought.
Which, how many years after was this made? I feel like it was a while.
It was. It felt like a minute.
Movies. So War came out in 2017. Jesus, it's been that long.
Dang, it feels like 2019.
I know. And Dawn came out in 2014. Okay, so it was 3 years. That's not that long. This is the best Caesar looks. He looks incredible in this.
The effects are crazy.
And I just feel like, especially like throughout the film, he like gets beat up emotionally and physically, and like that weathered older look with the effects looks so cool because you can get into more textures. And it just looked incredible.
So this one starts off very heavy right off the bat, pretty much, with the death of Caesar's oldest son and his wife. His wife.
By freaking Woody Harrelson.
So we got Woody Harrelson.
This is my favorite moment in the film is the look when he looks and it pans over to his dead family and he looks back and Andy Serkis, give him an Oscar, please.
For real.
Did he get an Oscar for, like, Lord of the Rings at all?
I feel like he did.
He must have.
Or at least a nomination.
He deserves everything.
Yeah, that's the moment I remember the most from this movie when we saw it in the theater, and that moment
it was so, like,
I didn't think it was gonna. The way the movie starts is like his oldest son, is gonna be kind of the main character, and it's gonna be about him passing the torch to him, essentially. And then just immediately is like, no, we're doing a completely different thing. And the way the suspense in that scene, especially when you know what's gonna happen, watching it after,
because at first it's like, oh, we killed Caesar, and then he's like, they didn't kill me, who the heck did they kill? And then
it's so intense, and it perfectly sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Like, this is a lot more serious than an ape riding on the back of a horse with machine guns now.
There is more ape riding on horses.
Yes, we do get that. I mean, that's classic Planet of the Apes, so you gotta have that. So this is kind of, I almost want to call it a road trip movie.
It is! And we get Maurice! Maurice comes back into the fray. What's great about Maurice, I need to rave about Maurice in this movie a little bit. Caesar, like, this event, obviously, takes him over the edge, and he hates humans now.
Yeah.
He literally just kills this guy who, like, didn't really do anything to them. Just straight up murders him, which isn't like him. And then Maurice is sort of the one who makes the connection with the little girl and sort of reminds him, like, listen, remember your roots, my dude.
Yes.
Remember that all humans aren't evil. And Maurice, I love Maurice.
Maurice is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what this movie is like the emotional journey of Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like going back.
Yeah, he like loses himself and finds himself again.
And he has to, it's so good how they did this, because he has to find that sympathy in himself again, despite like the worst circumstances ever. Every single thing that happens is beating into him that, like, humans just suck, and they're never going to not suck. They will always hurt you and everything you love, and try to take everything away from you, no matter what you do. And yeah, obviously this is the third movie where that has happened, and he snaps, and he's like, I had enough. But then over the course of the film, he has to find that in himself again, and it's like you feel the emotional weight with him. You get exhausted watching this movie. It's like, whew.
Yeah, this one is heavy.
It's a rough watch.
Which is, I think, why they added the comic relief ape in.
The Jar Jar Binks ape. Yes.
Bad ape.
Bad ape. He was kind of funny, though. I liked him.
I think there were only a few moments where it was like, okay, what type of movie is this?
Yeah,
we need to find the plot again. I think most of his jokes work, but some of them I was like, okay, not the time and place.
Much like Jar Jar Binks, you know?
Yeah, I did love his little vest and his beanie hat in the cold. When he's like, oh, so small.
Yep.
This movie is almost like a remake of Spartacus in a sense. Like, once he gets to the prison that Woody Harrelson has set up, he has to find within him again the like revolutionary leader that he was, and he's got to get these apes freed and inspire them again, because they're all hopeless too. It's so good. And he literally gets crucified. Like, they put him up on a cross, just like Spartacus. So there was
Jesus.
But there was a lot of inspiration taken, I believe, from. And there's also the fact of, like, there are certain apes who have kind of made it up in the ranks, like the donkey character, where he's not respected by any means, but he gets to punish the other apes. He's, like, sort of in a higher position, much like, what's his name? I think his name's Marcellus in Spartacus. The dude.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you're starting to see a new society form here from the ashes. And very reflecting on things like slavery in real life, where, like, it's just imprisoning all these apes, torturing them, and being like, well, if you listen to us, then you get to rise higher up. But rise higher up means nothing.
No, they're still going to treat you like an animal.
It's the tale as old as time.
Yeah.
We learned nothing.
What's also interesting about this is ultimately the humans, again, end up killing themselves because people are mad about what Woody Harrelson is doing, so he's got humans that he has to fight with. Yep. And then their battle ends up causing an avalanche that literally kills them all.
Literally like Mulan.
Yes. But let's talk about Woody Harrelson. Oh, also a great villain. At first, you're just like, okay, so he's just straight up bad because the first impression we get is that he kills Caesar's family. Then
screw this guy.
Yeah, then we find that like he's been so committed to stopping this disease that he killed his own son, he killed a bunch of his friends, and like had his friends kill their friends, like awful things. And then he gets the disease, and that's the moment when Caesar's about to get his revenge and kill him. And then he's like, that's exactly what he wants. He doesn't want to live. And so Caesar hands him the gun, and he kills himself. And so he almost gets to be the bigger person, where it's like, he didn't get his full revenge, but he just couldn't do it for him. Mm-hmm. It's great. I love that scene. It's a great moment. Yeah,
very interesting villain, because he's, obviously you hate him, and he's horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not just,
he's a product
bad guy.
Of what happened. Yeah, he's not goofy, bad, over-the-top villain. He's like, yes, this would happen.
This would be Harrelson happen.
This Woody Harrelson happened.
And it is Woody Harrelson, so you're like, is he just gonna be like,
I know,
crazy?
I'm like, why do I have to hate Woody Harrelson? I don't like hating Woody Harrelson.
But he's very good in this.
Mm-hmm.
And very interesting character to watch. I love watching him and Caesar's interaction, because there's that undertone of respect that they both have for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Even though obviously they hate each other because of how crazy Woody Harrelson is and what he perceives Caesar has, almost like he thinks Caesar has done to him personally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they hate each other and they want each other dead, but they respect the fight in each other almost.
Yeah. And their like leadership.
Yeah. They're like, I see you. I hate you, but I see you.
We are the same person, but in different fonts.
Yeah. In different fonts. Anyway, the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Let's chat about the ending. Because this is interesting now with this new movie.
Yeah.
Which we're also going to get into our predictions. So, you get your happy ending, of course, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's free and they frolic in the woods, like, woohoo.
Yes. But
Caesar has been through too much. His body and his mind can't take it anymore, I feel.
I can't do this anymore.
And he dies at the end of this film.
And who's by his side? But Maurice. MVP.
Yes. It's a really, really nice ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's not...
And he gets to see, like, they've found a new home.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to see all of his people, like, starting to thrive. And then he passes away.
Peacefully.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was probably in pain.
Well, yeah.
He got shot with an arrow.
It hurts a little bit, but...
I don't think we're going to be able to stitch this.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like the ending a lot, because it's the perfect blend that I love of tragic but hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And
we know that Caesar, they've kept little Cornelius alive.
Yes.
So he's going to carry it on.
That is the hope that he has, that after he's gone, it's not going to all go to chaos. Although, as we'll see with this new movie, apparently that did happen. I don't know how, but we're going to see.
Yeah.
It
makes sense. I mean, they're always going to fight over whether to trust the humans or not, because there's so much like deeply embedded trauma there. So it's tale as old as time in this universe.
Yeah. So that's how we conclude, and I assumed from there it was going to go into the original films. I don't know if that makes sense timeline wise.
So that's probably why it's hundreds of years.
Yeah.
There's going to be another Cornelius eventually. That's my thought.
True. It's just weird because in the original movie, obviously the iconic scene with the Statue of Liberty, I'm like, how...
Oh, yeah, if it's been hundreds of years, it won't exist anymore.
I don't think it would look like that.
That's true.
That's the thing that threw me off. And I, honest to God, cannot remember for the life of me how the guys got to the Planet of the Apes. Oh. Did they time travel, or did they... I cannot remember.
I thought that it was like they... I don't know.
I feel like they went through this weird, like, time thing. And they ended up in the future, but I could be wrong about that. It's been so long since I watched it. It scared the crap out of me when I was little.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember.
I haven't seen the original ones. I've seen, like, the iconic scenes, but I haven't seen them all the way.
The first one is really good. It's a classic. I saw some of the sequels, but those I can't remember at all. But Cornelius, it's, you know, all about how the apes took over, but they're not nice. They're very much the villains. Kind of, I guess. Except for Cornelius and his wife, because they're like, we shouldn't treat the humans like this, and blah, blah, blah. And they end up helping them and everything, and they become, like, the heroes of the franchise over time, I think. So, when you have Cornelius, Caesar's son, I was like, oh, so this was a prequel. This isn't
that's
just
what you think.
A new thing. But maybe it is now. Because we have Proximus Caesar as the ruler. So
Can we talk about the ancient Rome influences on these names? I'm geeking out a little bit.
So, and this guy seems kind of kooky. And they're doing the same thing. The humans have lost the ability to speak, and they're being hunted and rounded up like animals, just like in the original. So, I'm wondering if now this is just a straight-up remake, as opposed to, like, a reboot prequel thing.
But there's no Cornelius that we know of. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I'm pretty excited, because it does look like they're keeping the style of the reboot trilogy. The effects...
There are certain shots that look goofy, but...
Yeah. There's that one talking orangutan that just looks really bad.
Yeah.
But everything else looked okay. So
yeah, I'd have to see the full movie before I say definitively.
Maybe it'll be more like the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
That I couldn't get through that.
Everyone's favorite entry.
I couldn't finish that movie.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know.
I'm excited.
I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Yes. I'm very confused about the timeline right now.
Yeah.
But maybe that's on purpose, because they don't want to give stuff away.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another, like, big reveal, like in the original the Apes, about what year it is supposed to be.
Oh my god, it's 2024.
Don't we love to go back to 2024.
Well, if Rise took place in, 2011? When did that come out? 2011. What's 300 years from...
2311.
Damn.
So plus who knows what's going on? They're still humans, we know that.
Yeah. And they look like how they were in the original.
Like
how they dress and...
Like, sort of like cavemen.
Yeah. We're regressing while they're progressing.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, and it seems like their ruler is called Caesar, obviously.
Yeah. Well, but Caesar means, like, ruler or king or something. They used to call in ancient Rome, like, if you were the emperor, they'd call you the Caesar, yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know all this stuff.
They say it in Gladiator.
Oh.
What's his name? I can't remember Joaquin Phoenix's name.
Joaquin.
But they called him Caesar.
The Caesar.
Anyway.
We have Bad Caesar in this one. Maybe? Looks like
it. It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be... Because from what I read anyway, it's this... just this ape living in the ranks who rises up against the ruler. So, like you said, a lot like ancient Rome stories.
I know. I love that.
The rebel. essentially.
It'd be another Spartacus remake.
So it's like we're going in reverse, I guess. Now we gotta take down the ape society.
Yeah, we'll see how the humans come into play. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
This will be good.
We'll see if the main character is related to Caesar in any way. That's what I'm curious
about. Ray Skywalker situation. What's your name? Caesar's son.
Son of Caesar. Great grandson of Caesar.
And everyone's like, no! We wanted him to be nobody.
In 300 years, well, I guess not. I was gonna say in 300 years you'd think they'd have some more adaptations, but like humans have been around for thousands of years. What's happened to us? Just much. War.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna happen to the apes in this one, civil war.
Yeah, civil war. We'll be there.
We will update our thoughts in the next episode?
Yes. Our next episode is going to be a review of Kingdom and Planet of the Apes. Mm-hmm. So it'll all come full circle. As far as what we've been watching recently, we tried to watch Abigail early today, but got kicked out of the theater because we're too rowdy.
No!
Our theater was broken. We had to leave. It was very sad.
But we got free movie passes.
Yes. We might see it tomorrow.
We got to hear, like, the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it sounded like it might be good.
Yeah, but we couldn't see it. It was the best movie we ever heard.
Yes.
That's what Emily said.
So that was sad.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Hopefully we'll see it tomorrow, because I think it's going to be out of the theater pretty
soon.
I don't hear anyone.
Yeah, we were in a very small, like, back of the building theater room.
We were in a closet, basically.
Yeah, I've never been in that one before. It was so small. But yeah.
That's what we tried to watch recently. But
we also are one episode away from finishing season 2 of Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Emily, what are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think it's funny, but I also think it's, like, a good, engaging story. It's interesting to watch the characters reacting to what's going on and how they're not evolving. Devolving, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, every single episode going forward, I'm always like, how is this gonna all end? Like,
I know.
I'm so intrigued on how everything's gonna turn out.
Yeah. We're getting to the turning point where it gets a lot darker in season 3, because we got to Jane's death, and after that, I feel like that's kind of the turning point in Walter's character, because he did something awful.
That was a big moment, and I'm like, I don't know how Jesse is gonna react when he gets out of everything, but I'm like, if he finds out that he did that, like, it's all over, isn't it?
Yes, and we will see Jesse, like, grappling with what happened a lot in season 3, and that's pretty sad. But yes.
So he finds out that Walter did nothing, then I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna do.
That if he finds out that Walter was the reason she died? Yeah. Well, we will see if he finds out or not.
Like, there's going to be no partnership after that. It's going to be a rivalry.
You can't keep him. He's manipulated him very well so far, but that'll be pretty hard to manipulate his way out.
It's pretty difficult. I don't know how he would find out, but
yeah,
I'm assuming he will.
Yeah, he was so out of it that he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I like it so far a lot.
Yeah, and now we're getting into Gustavo Fring has been introduced. Now we're getting into that era of Breaking Bad, which is pretty great.
El Pollo Loco guy.
Yes, we got new characters coming into the fray who are very iconic. Mike is going to come up soon. I love Mike. Walter.
Oh. If you want more of this amazing content, I was just kind of talking randomly. Losing my mind. Basically, like, you can totally subscribe. Whoa, to our
subscribe.
That was so loud in my ears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all our videos, all our episodes as they are released. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We just want to talk movies on all of those. You could also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Tons of podcast places.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah, check it out. Subscribe so you can always get our amazing content the moment it is released. Because I know you guys just want it so bad. You are holding your breath for when Emily and Kayla are going to ramble.
And give opinions that are
controversial. Probably. But that is it for this episode.
And we will catch you on the flick side.